y'all, but for some reason it got cut off. I don't know how or what happened. Um, so anyway, we'll just make this fast and do the quick recap. Parents split up, went to Mexico with my dad, Monterrey over to his girlfriend's house. They lived in this house and whatnot. I was going upstairs to go to sleep. Um, uh, uh, Went upstairs to go to sleep, and apparently the restroom door didn't close right. So, it kind of swung open like maybe about as much. So anyway, I see this person pass by. I couldn't tell if it was a guy or a girl, when they passed by. So anyway, I could have swore that I didn't see this person at the party because they were having some kind of party. It was going to be like Christmas, and I guess they were all happy because their whole family was there. But so I opened the door, and then I happened to look, and it actually was a woman that was passing by, and I told the woman, I was like, that's where we're sleeping at, and she didn't listen. She just kept going, and she walked into the room where I was at and where I was supposed to be sleeping. I see her get into the bed that I sleep in, and I was like, excuse me, but that's my bed. That's where I sleep. Apparently still didn't even care. And so what I did was I turned on the lights. I just the room was dark, room was dark. Turn on the lights, and all I saw was the blanket just go straight down. Right there, right. Nobody was even somebody was holding it up. I mean, you got me on that one. I mean, to me, that was pretty trippy stuff. I don't know unless you can explain it to me what it was. I don't even think that I can explain it myself. And for some reason, I'm still not going online live on YouTube. I don't know why. But what it does is, whenever I record, apparently, I am live right now. Okay, let me just mute it. Go ahead and mute it, because then we don't want any echoes on here. So anyway, that's one story. A lot of stories. If we can get a bigger audience to come here and see if we can get anybody to share some stories with us. Let's see. Okay, so there's nobody here so far. Everybody's on 7:30. Everybody's probably having dinner right now. Looks like the chat is empty. Let's see if I can get some friends to come in here. I know exactly who to ask. We'll start off with my homeboy Drew. Drew's always got you know, stories to tell. All right, so let's find Drew message. Drew. On YouTube and YouNow, whichever you want. All right, so my homeboy Drew's on there. He's gonna see if he's gonna do something about that. So anyway, uh, another story that I have is it's not really a ghost story. It's more of uh, it's more of a possession. It's like a 6, 7 year old boy that was possessed. Um, I I used to be a minister, like, but that was like a long time ago. Uh, that was when uh, so uh, so anyway. Uh, copy. So to be a minister, like a long time ago, like when I was married, maybe like what years is 2017? Uh, 12 years. Actually, no, I'm wrong. 14, 13, 14 years ago, I was a minister. I started off studying in Mexico, and then I think up to like 2007, 8, I started. But anyway, um, there was this one time I was going to this one church. It was a pretty decent church. It wasn't like all those other mega churches that are out there. That all money. And they just want to. They just want to see what they can get out of you. But this church, man, this church was so humble that the people that went there, this church was in Mexico, and the people that went there, they're poor, man. It's in Mexico. You don't really have too many rich people. You have like your normal day to day working, live check by check people. You have your middle class. Uh, um, and then you have your ridiculously rich people. Uh, I mean, most of those people are going to be like the doctors, the lawyers, and whatnot. Uh, there's not much. There's not. There's not many good jobs, good pay. Um, in Mexico, like a job over here in the States, like at a warehouse. Warehouse jobs over here an hour. Uh, and there's my boy Drew right there. Drew. So Mexico, they have these they have low paying jobs. And warehouses over here is like $10 an hour, and over 100 pesos a day, which is like $10. So you get like 500 pesos each week, and that's how people live off of that. So anyway, this church was so humble that if they couldn't pay the bills, they bill inside uh, the the collection plate. And then and then the minister, he to the front and say, oh, this is the collection for today and whatnot, and apparently one of our brothers and sisters can't pay these bills, and so let's help them out. Who wants to be who wants to love their neighbor, their brother, and help them pay. And somebody would raise their hand and and pay. Yeah, I can hear you. Well, I can't hear you, bro, but I can see you're over here. I don't know if I can add you on here. Let me hold on. There we go.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to see.
That's
Can I get like a double split screen?
up right there.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Enjoying San Antonio life. Out here, I'm in my apartment. Cougar man, homie, my bro. My bro.
Hey, you any Ray out there? What's up?
Say, bro, look, my backyard is all stars. I can't see it. Hold up, let me see. Oh, let me try it. Look, Ice 10 Ice House is right there. Ice House is right there. The U House right there, and All Stars is like right over there. It's like on the other side.
Wow.
Town. Yes, sir. What's up with you, man? Hey, quick question. I know you had said your book, your first book, right? That you went live on. Was that your interpretation of Battlefront, or was that your other books?
Chapter that I read?
Yeah.
No, that's something that I wrote. I didn't get it from anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause you had you said you were gonna write a book on like shit hitting your fan, and you writing yourself, my part, Fito's part, and some other heads part.
Yeah. You guys don't show up until like chapter 5.
Okay, cool. So that's the book you're reading then, right?
Yeah, that's the book that I was reading.
Dude, that's what's up, bro. Not that, cause you showed me like I know you showed me a couple of pages of it, or like a chapter, and I was reading. I think you sent me, or you just, I don't remember, but I remember I do remember you telling me about that, because you had wrote sufficient amount of it, and you had gotten writer's block. You're like, well, this is what I got so far, and then yeah, but it was fucking off the chain.
Yeah, I eventually did get writer's block, and then I started writing again. It just happened one day. I was just driving, and then I was looking at the woods, and I was driving to Jacksonville, Texas, and then I was looking at all these woods and everything, and then all of a sudden I started getting ideas, and like I was and I had my phone, and I was just recording everything on my phone, and then when I got back home, I started typing up another chat, and then
Yeah.
ended up going with another chapter, and right now like 13 chapters going on. But nah, bro, I mean, you guys start like the first 5 chapters is more an introduction to the character, and then from there, uh, from chapter like 6, 7, all the way 2 and 3. I mean, you guys are gonna be all in there, bro.
Oh shit, that's what's up. Cool, cool. That's damn. That's tight, man. That is tight.
Yeah, I'm just trying to because uh because it's gonna end up being 12 books.
Oh, for real?
It's gonna end up being 12 books. I'm still deciding if you if I'm gonna add you guys to 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, okay, okay. You cut
But
it.
I know for a fact I was gonna put you guys in the first 3 books.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time hearing you, bro. Like you're cutting out in and out. Am I doing the same when I'm talking?
Yeah, you're doing the same too.
Yeah, I figured. I mean, I was like, fuck. That's why I'm trying to put my shit to my ear because I couldn't really hear you.
Yeah, it can't be on my end because I have the laptop connected directly to the modem, so I'm getting like a perfect stream.
Oh no, well I'm on Wi-Fi, bro. I'm on Wi-Fi. I got Spectrum Wi-Fi and shit. So I mean, it's pretty good. It has like the 5G and then it has the regular shit. I don't know though. It's all right. It's pretty fast. The 5G is pretty fast, but the regular one, I don't know. I might be on the regular one. I don't know. I gotta check it out.
Yeah, this is it's just like a little lag, but I can still get you. I mean, I can still hear you and still see you.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Like, there's just sometimes when I'm like moving, and then I just hear clack, and yeah, it's like digital and shit, dude. Oh fuck, I didn't. I gotta tell you my acid experience, bro.
Acid experience.
Yes, sir. Real
Did you
shit.
see
Real shit,
anything?
bro. I was floating in the river Styx, bro, and it was like it was crazy. Watch, all right. So I'm sipping and smoking with my homie that I used to live with, my bro, a bro of mine, and he we ended up getting some, and he ended up scoring some. He's like, "Hey, dude, you want to do some acid with me?" And I was like, He's like, "You don't got shit to do, bro. It's like you got the next 2 days off. What the fuck you gonna do?" I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I guess. I mean, you're right. I don't got shit to do. We're sipping, we're smoking. Fuck it. Why not?" And I wasn't planning on going out because I wasn't feeling it that day. I just wanted to kind of like chill, game out, like watch movies and shit. So he's like, "Okay." So he's like, "Well, you know what? Since I've done acid first, he goes, I'm gonna take 2 strips and then I'll wait it out, and then if everything's cool, then I'll give you a couple." I was like, "Okay, cool, cool." So he ends up tearing 2 strips, boom, he pops them and shit. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go roll something. So I roll something. Where they're smoking, we're looking at like videos of fucking conquerors, like conquering the world and shit like that on
Yeah.
YouTube and all kinds of shit, like crazy shit like that. And then he's like, "Fuck, man, this shit ain't hitting." He's like, "I'm gonna take another 2, and I'm gonna take another 3. Here, you take 2." And I was like, I was like, okay, fine. I was like, all right, fine. I guess. He goes, well, I haven't. He goes, it might be bunk though. And I was like, all right, fine. So he takes another 3. He takes 3 first, then he takes another 3, and then he gives me 2. So I take 2 strips, and I'm just there chilling, and it don't taste like shit. So I don't taste anything, and I'm just like kind of waiting for it, and it takes about a good I still didn't feel it. And he was like, nah, wait, I'm not feeling it, bro. And he was here, I'm gonna give you another 2. I think it goes, if these other 2 don't hit, or these other 3 don't hit you, and these other 3 or 2 don't hit me, then this shit's bunk. I was like, bro, did you, how many fucking milliliters of acid or whatever the fuck does it contain? So I don't know, I'm about to find out. So like, all right, fine, fuck it. So boom, he gives me them, and I'm there chilling, man. I'm there chilling, and all of a sudden, um, I go get the next beer. The next round, I come back and I'm there. We're watching something, and then I just start hysterically fucking laughing, just like his shit was just fucking funny to me, and I was like, hey, wait, I think I'm feeling it, and then he's just rolling. He's like, like he's fucking rolling. I'm rolling. I'm fucking cracking up, and then all of a sudden it hits me like motherfucker, way like my endorphins just poof, like quajao. So that shit just my brain is just like a la verga. So literally the last thing I remember is me laughing back, and then my laugh sounds like you remember the part from Matrix when Neo touches the mirror and it gets on him, and then like he screams,
Yeah.
and when he screams it comes digital. Okay, well that's that shit. That's how I heard my laugh. And then it just turned digital, and then boom, blacked out.
Metallic.
I blacked out. I blacked out, and then I woke up in my room, and I felt like I was floating, like floating down to my bed, and then I got to my bed, and then I felt my bed like a boat, and then it was just pitch black, and I was in the river Styx because I saw the dude just on the edge of my like not on my bed but like a little bit above my bed, and he's just rolling, and I'm just like a la verga, like I don't got nothing to fucking offer this dude for my toe, like I was like a la verga, I wasn't planning for this shit to happen, like, and then all of a sudden like I just felt hands grab me through my bed, and then I went into the water, and I was just floating down in the water, and then boom, I woke up and it was daytime. And then I was just tripping throughout the whole fucking day. Like just seeing mad shit, like smoke, double images, triple images, like it was crazy, bro. Fucking crazy, dog. Crazy as shit. Crazy experience. I'm actually want to try it again, but I think I just took too much acid for my fucking brain, and I just
Well,
blacked the
yeah,
fuck
it
out.
sounds like you took
Damn,
like
I can't
six
hear
strips of
you.
acid. So let me get this straight. You took six strips of acid, and you were on the river Styx, and the boatman, the ferryman, Kron, and you didn't have your 2 cents to give to him.
I don't know, brother. That's the only thing that I can interpret what happened. That shit, I don't know, man. That shit was crazy, bro. Shit was crazy. Cause he was on 3, 6. He was on 8 fucking strips. I was on 5, bro. I think I should have just done 2 of them. It
You
did
should have
take
just
forever
done it
though.
too and just let it just let it hit later on.
Yeah, yeah, for real. It just took forever. Way it dragged ass. That's why I guess he didn't think it was real. And I mean, I'd never done acid, so I didn't know what to expect. But I guess that's why he thought it was bunk, and he didn't think it was real. But yeah, well, that shit was a crazy ass experience.
Well, yeah,
Crazy
man.
ass.
I mean, it's like if you take the 11-7 Quaaludes now, and they haven't been in production since like they haven't been in circulation for almost 30 years. If you got to have like a 2 hour delay fuse.
It's like Wolf of Wall Street type shit.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be just like that. That's probably what you took. You probably had
Like these
some
motherfucking
old
things
weak
are not
acid
hitting.
or something.
I think we need more. He just pops more. Fuck. Yeah, that was a tripped out experience, bro. That was a tripped out experience. Um, yeah, but Satan's been good, and you seem like you've been doing good for yourself too, and that's good, man. I'm good. It's good to hear and good to know that you're doing good and you're well up there in D Town, man. Like I said, I've been trying to go to D Town, but it's just a motherfucker, man. I got another homeboy that lives in Denton. It's a little bit outside D Town, but he's been telling me to go up. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, man. Denton is about an hour north of Dallas. They've man, they renovated like the whole town, bro. Like it actually looks real modern now. It looks
Damn,
nice.
damn. Okay, that's good. That's a place to go see then. for sure.
Yeah,
My bad. Wait.
I've been meaning to go to San Antonio on a weekend, but I've been real tired and been real busy. But now that my she's gonna go back to college this Friday. I gotta drop her off. I'm gonna have enough time for at least take a road trip on a weekend,
Yeah, at
and
least a little
we'll
road trip.
go, man. I'll go to San Antonio, man, and then we'll go to we'll go chill. We'll have a couple of beers.
Fuck yeah,
Uh,
man. Cause I got my own place. We can kick it here for a minute, and then we can go hit up some bars or whatever. Like just chill, kick it. Do whatever we gotta do. Catch up and shit, man.
Man, but honestly, you you know what I'm craving for like time since ever since I left the army in like 2009 2010 bro, I've been craving big pizza over in San Santos.
Oh, okay.
You never been to Big Lou's Pizza?
Oh, Big Lou's? I actually no way. I've only had their pizza, but I've never been to their pizzeria. But it's off the chain though. It's off the fucking chain.
Bro, big Big Lou's Pizza is like the best. When that last time I was out, it was like to Big Lou's, we ordered the largest pizza they had. It was like $40, and
That's
like
what's up.
the pizza took over the whole entire table, and six of us army dudes, we couldn't even finish that. We left
Damn,
like half of it.
damn, that's crazy. That's fucking big then. Damn,
Yeah,
that's what's
I
up.
mean, if I remember right, the box that they put, uh, it like barely fit in the cabin of the truck in that I was driving it over there.
Y'all probably have food for fucking a minute,
No,
dude.
hombre,
You
we
wanna
got
know?
back to base and we told everybody we went to Big Lou's and nobody knew what Big Lou's was, and we showed them the pizza, man. Like the whole entire
Damn.
squad killed the whole entire squad killed the pizza in like 10 minutes.
Damn, they killed it then. They killed it. Yeah, I bet, man. Dude, you want to know another thing I haven't had since I moved up here? And actually, it's not even from
What?
San Antonio. It's Mingo Pass. Roadies, bro.
No, I don't miss roadies one bit. I
What?
miss roadies.
How do you not miss roadies, bro? Okay, truth be told, I
No,
miss their tenders. If anything, I miss their tenders. But other than
ask your
that,
ask your boy in Denton if he's ever ate Williams chicken, and if he ask what's better, Williams chicken or roadies, and he'll tell you Williams chicken is the best. Are you there? I think Drew got frozen. Well, my homeboy Drew got frozen. We got off topic, but me and Drew will get back on that. We'll get back on that later on. Uh, but yeah, anyway, uh, Drew, Drew, just let me let me just tell you this story, bro. So anyway, uh, so at this church, right? Uh, they had the minister go ahead and tell ask the congregation who wanted to pay for the bill, and somebody picked it up, and they picked up the tab, and you bills over there in Mexico. I mean, if the pay is cheap, the bills are cheap. You pay your water bill every 2 months, light every month, and and the light bill usually comes up. The most I've ever seen it was like maybe like $20 for the whole month, and the water bill is every 2 months, so you pay what, like $30 every 2 months. So yeah, So anyway, one day the minister he had asked uh, if 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 I want to exercise in this, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But he told me that I couldn't do it if I had hate in my heart, and I was like, I lied to him. I told him, I said, no, I don't have any hate, but I knew I had some hate, some resentment. Uh, but it was just something I wanted to experience for myself. So we get to the little boy's house, and we walk in, and as soon as you walk in, like Mexico is like 110, 115, 20 degrees in the summertime. All their houses are made out of concrete and brick, and some of the older houses are actually made out of sand and ash and uh, and brick. So um, so yeah, whenever whenever we walk in, uh, it started getting fresh. It started getting colder inside the house, and when it started getting uh, uh, when it started getting cold, uh, sorry, I'm over here saving something over here on YouTube. Uh, it started getting colder inside, and then the only thing you can hear is like some heavy breathing. It looked like it sounded like like Darth Vader was there. And so uh, they had the boy tied up, his hands and his feet, and uh, the boy looked real pale. He didn't look nothing like he looked absolutely nothing like uh, uh, like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. That's that's Hollywood. Uh, um, but the devils or demons or whatever they were inside the kid, uh, they know everything about you. They know absolutely everything, even secrets that you've never even told anybody, stuff that you tend to keep to yourself because you don't want nobody to know. They know everything. And the one secret that I always kept, I never wanted anybody to know, was uh, it was how much that uh, how much I really hated my dad's girlfriend. You know, I I always wished death upon her and everything. But I grew past that. And once you become a minister and whatnot, you tend to have to forgive everybody and everything. You have to let things go, and so I did. And partially, I tend to uh, let it go little by little. Um, but yeah, so we walk up to the boy, and then he starts, speaking in languages. You can hear him speaking in languages that we've never heard of. And then the minister, he didn't throw holy water on him or anything. He just kept grabbing his cross and putting it on his forehead, and and it looked like it was burning him. You could like almost see smoke there, and then um, you could just see like the kid's tongue like starts like it was started getting long. It looked like a Gene Simmons tongue. Uh, but then after after the boy is done with the minister and trying to scare him off, he just like looks at him and then he like immediately turns to me, and I got scared. I was afraid. I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect. I've seen movies, and I think it's gonna be just like the movie, but no, it wasn't anything to me. The kid starts telling you these things, and next thing you know, you just see the minister. He's over here praying at him. He starts telling them, recite verses from the Bible, and then for some reason, he looked at me and it the boy wasn't useful to him anymore. So the only thing I remember after that was when he said that. I remember the boy pushing the ministers away and then go my throat, trying to choke me, and then uh, the only thing I remember after that was I was on the floor, and the minister he was praying for me, and I just to look up, and the minister told me that somehow the demon had left the boy and went inside. I don't remember any of that. The only thing they told me was um, that I was speaking in some language, uh, and that I was trying to push them away. But I don't remember any of that. It's probably for the best. So, sometimes I still wonder if they took out the whole entire thing out of me. Because sometimes I have nightmares. I have dreams. Um, I'm usually in a dark room and surrounded by mirrors. Excuse me. And usually when I look in the mirror that's directly in front of me, uh, my reflection comes out. Obviously it's a mirror, but uh, it's a mirror with a twist. The mirror, uh, the mirror, it tends to have the whatever is evil inside of me. I guess that's what it had, and so this mirror, what it does, like my reflection, like I would look at it and there was like a split second lag where you could see it like move the exact same way, or uh, I don't know how to explain it. But I always remember that um, the mirror's hand, my reflection always came out of the mirror. And um, when it would come out of the mirror, it would go straight for my throat. And it always says that I'm not strong enough to beat it. And uh, we usually end up fighting, and rolling around. And there's times when I do happen to wake up from my dreams. I'll wake up with either scratches, cuts, bruises. Uh, I've woken up with 3 big scratches on my back. Uh, I can't reach that back. I mean, that far. And I've woken up with a black eye before. You know, I've been told that I probably like hit myself, and I mean, it's stupid. Why would I want to hit myself? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. I know there's people that do it, for attention, but whose attention would I want? It's just, me and my girls, and I don't need their attention. They're always there for me, and I'm always there for them. Um, yeah, but that's something I'm grateful that I don't remember. But I always tend to think that whatever was in me left part of it in me, and that's why I always have these weird dreams. Can't explain it. I've seen lechuzas. I've seen shadow people. There's times that I think I'm going crazy because uh, there's things that I remember, and apparently there's no history on it, or the history was changed on it. And I tend to have a very good memory when it comes to things. Uh, I remember being in school and hearing about Nelson Mandela being, dying, being killed in prison. I remember uh, there used to be a hyphen on the Kit Kat bar. There used to be hyphens on some of the drinks, and now they're not there anymore. And there's a lot of things that drives me insane. That try to makes me wonder what's going on. Like the other day, I was watching Demolition Man, and I could have swore that uh, the first time I saw it, where they talk about the franchise wars after Sylvester Stallone was like woken, like 20 years later. Uh, the winner of the franchise wars was Taco Bell. Like every restaurant was a Taco Bell, and then I just happened to see it the other day, and now every restaurant is Pizza Hut. I mean, it's little things. People don't ever notice these little things. It makes me wonder if I'm the only one that ever actually notices these things. I mean, it's sometimes it's the little things that do matter. Um, Still, nobody's on YouTube except me. Uh, it's 8:16, and everybody's eating dinner, going to work, getting out of work. Um, my girls right now, uh, they're over at the Verizon Center. They're at a concert, watching some Korean band that was gonna come over here. Um, so they're over there right now. So I'm here just having fun. Let me see if I can get any more people see if we could talk about ghost stories. Uh, my friend Jessica, she's a very good friend. We we have differences of opinion when it comes to certain things, but not everybody can be the same. Excuse me, I've been awake since 5 in the morning, and I'm a driver, so uh, I usually tend to drive until whenever I'm finished. So that's why I'm yawning so much, and hopefully this girl will answer me. But yeah, she's a Wiccan. She wasn't always like that. She was Catholic, but she's still good people. I have absolutely nothing against her religion. I don't bash anybody's religion. If your religion tells you to do this, and by all means, go ahead. But I'm not gonna be, bashing you or anything just because uh, activities. Um, you know, I don't bash and their religions. To each their own. They say that for Muslims, for every infidel they kill, you get 70 virgins. Hey, that's you. For Christians, I don't know, man. It's for Christianity. I mean, you can't really be specific. You can't generalize in Christianity because there's like 13 denominations there. Baptism. You can't sit with the congregation. You have to sit on the side until you are like legally baptized by them. Uh, Jehovah Witness, same thing. Uh, I don't know. Uh, but yeah, uh, I mean, I really don't know what to say. I mean, this is my second video, and I have a wide knowledge of different things when it comes to either religion, ghosts, paranormal activities, possessions, witchcrafts, um, uh, aliens, things like that. Um, I wish I had more followers. I wish I had more people to be on here. I I'm new to this. I don't know how to promote myself. like I'm just sitting here, just making a video library video diary. But it's fine. You know, this is gonna go to YouTube, and people will watch it there. Not sure if they'll watch the whole entire. What are we at? 50 minutes. But you know, somebody's got to watch something. Somebody eventually will get bored and they'll start hearing about it, and hopefully they'll tell somebody about it. And so hopefully maybe I can get somebody else, you know, and join in on a conversation and talk on here, share video, or share a story. I guess she's busy. Yeah, I can't. I don't know, man. Uh, I guess before I get off the air, one more story, one more ghost story. So this one happened in 2002. I will never forget it. And I had never known anything about shadow people or shadow person. You know how you always get that feeling that the room is pitch black, and then there's always something even darker than the pitch black room that sits on your chest and holds you down and you can't move. Yeah, uh, I've been told those are shadow people. I've seen videos on them and everything. Uh, but yeah, that happened to me one time. They didn't sit on my chest or hold me down per se. I guess I woke up before they even did that. Uh, so I remember sleeping in my bed, and then at the foot of my bed, uh, I remember waking up, and at the foot of my bed, I remember seeing like this like shadowy figure. It was pretty tall too. It was like 6, 7 feet. So what happens was I asked who's there, and nobody answers. But what was funny to me is that at that time I was living at my grandparents' house. Um, my grandpa always had this light over by my window. Excuse me. There's always this light by the window over here on this side, and the light always shone inside the room, and I hated that light because it always kept me awake at night, and I always put blinds, and still the light came right through the blinds. And so I got fed up, and I stapled a blanket, around the window to make sure no light even got in. So that night, I guess the light went out. Coincidence? I don't know. Um, but I see the shadowy figure, going from the foot of the bed, comes over here to my left side, and I'm just staring at it. And I tell it, I don't know who you are, but you need to get the hell out of my room. I don't know what to say. It didn't do it. Uh, its eyes like lit up like it took a picture of me, and then it went black. It disappeared, and then you could see the light outside. Starts flickering again, and then it turns on. Um, I told my grandma what happened. She didn't. My grandma didn't believe me, and oh, we got people watching here. Got Alex, Otto, Tim Broke Boy. Otto, talking about ghost stories, bro. You want to get in on this? You got any good ghost stories you want to tell? I was just talking about shadow people. I just happened to be in my room one day, and my grandma didn't believe me. My grandpa did. So he convinced my grandma to get the priest to come into the house. And yeah, man, they're real. I've seen a couple. My family's from Mexico, so I've seen a lot of stuff over there. Yeah, some of them don't have faces. Uh, I've seen a couple that do, but you really can't even tell their faces. They're like kind of like melted, blurry kind of faces. I don't know. And there's my homegirl Jessica right there. Hey, Jessica. And yeah, so this shadow person, right, was at the foot of my bed. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, blurred. But see, what it was is that at the room was pitch black, and the shadow person was darker than darkness itself. But you could still see the shadowy figure there. It was crazy, and it walks over to the side of my bed, and then and I wake up and I look at it, and I'm over here like, uh, who the hell are you? Get the hell out of my room. I bet you that tripped you out. You know, it happened to my uncle one time. Yeah, it kind of like that. What it did to my uncle is that my uncle woke up and he said there was a shadowy figure right on top of him holding him down. I don't know if it's ever done that to you, but he said that he felt hands on his chest and his shoulders holding him down. He said that's happened to him. No, it wasn't a hooded shadow. It was like an actual person, like shadowy figure, what they call shadow people, like a silhouette of a person. Yeah, I bet he did, bro. I mean, they tend to, man, they do tend to scare the hell out of you. You know, if it's your first time, man, it will scare the hell out of you. And if it's not your first time and it happens repeatedly, it's still gonna scare the hell out of you. Had gloves on. I've never heard anything about gloves, but hey man, there's all kinds. And man, do like what my grandpa made me do. All right, uh, some of these shadow people you can't help them. I mean, because they're just angry spirits. They're just there to like hurt you. I don't know if you can help them. If you can, hey man, cool. If you can't, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But I told my grandparents at the time I was living at my grandparents' house, uh, and then so what happened was like I told my grandma, and my grandma didn't believe me, and then I told my grandpa, and he believes me, because he's seen a lot of stuff, over in Mexico. But he convinced my grandma to get a priest to come to the house, and he threw like holy water all over the room and whatnot. And but apparently that didn't work because I think like 2 days later, uh, it it held me down. It was holding me down, and I woke up. Um, so I mean, that's scared the shit out of me because I couldn't move just because we're alive. I mean, it could be. I mean, they could be jealous. Maybe uh, maybe they're just trying to see. Another thing. They can't be just jealous. Maybe another thing could be that they're just trying to see if you're weak minded or weak willed, and maybe they can take your. I mean, maybe they can take your body. No, I'm not saying that. Not saying that that you're wrong. Just saying it's there's a lot of possibilities out there. I'm not saying that you guys are. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong. Maybe they do envy. Some do envy, and maybe some just want to take over bodies, and and carry on their lives, and because they don't know that they're dead. Some probably don't know. Some do, and I mean, what can I say? But uh, my grandpa, like I said, my grandpa's seen a lot of stuff, and ever since that happened, my grandpa he let me have a cat, and he put it in my room. And then ever since that day, I became a very, very like 100% cat person because ever since that cat that they had that I had in my room, never, never, ever again did I ever have anything, come back into my room. Yeah, my grandpa always said that that cats. Well, he says that cats uh, cats were the protectors of uh, of the gates of hell. They don't let the demons get out. I mean, who knows, man? I mean, older people tend to know more stuff than we do. Sometimes the internet isn't good enough on information that that old school people know. My grandpa's seen a lot of stuff. He's seen lechuzas in his ranch in Mexico. He's seen one lechuza over here in Dallas. And to this day, the tree the tree that the tree that the lechuza stood on, that perched on, to this day, that tree is I mean, is dead to the core. I mean, it didn't take much for us to pull it out of the roots. And that tree was big, man. I mean, I'm talking about uh, probably as tall as the trees that that Jessica had in her backyard. Jessica had in her old home when she's living in Dallas with her parents. Man, their trees were tall, and there was a tall tree that we had like that back there, and my grandpa saw that lechuza and perched on that tree, and kid you not, that tree just died. Jessica, that tree, they cut it down. Did I tell you that? Whoever's living in that house now, they cut the tree down, and I was so pissed because when they pulled down the branch, there happened to be uh, a bird nest, and all you could hear was like loud chirpings of the babies uh, that fell out of the nest when the branch fell, when they pulled down the branch, when they cut it off. Yeah, yeah. Shadow people do thrive off negativity. Sometimes I wish I could believe that uh, uh, about bad karma. Sometimes uh, I don't have any pets like right now, so I mean, I sometimes I wish that karma would just be instant, but I guess it's not, and it takes forever. Hence my dad and his woman. I bet you did raise those. I bet you did raise those birds. You were always in those damn trees too. Yeah, well, I don't have bad intentions for anybody. I just try to live my life and try to just be left alone. No, man. I mean, I do my good deeds. I don't look for, and I don't look for praise of it. I mean, Jessica could tell you, she's been there with me since what, 15, 20 years already. I mean, she knows me. I don't really look for praise from anybody. I do all my good deeds, and uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like when I work, since I'm a driver, man. Like I drive all the way up to Oklahoma, so usually I tend to buy like $10 worth of the like dollar burgers at Wendy's. Because there's no Wendy's over by my job. And I like those chicken sandwiches. But on the way home, uh, there's just always this one black old school dude. You know, uh, he's over off of the highway, and I always tend to get full. Get full with like 3 or 4 burgers. And I always think like, oh, I'm gonna save the rest. And I'll give them to my daughters when they get home. When I get home, and they'll eat them. And but then I always see that old school. I call him old school. This homeless dude, this old black dude that sits there. I always pull up next to him and I always give him the rest of my burgers, and I'm like, here you go, man. Get this food in you, bro. And yeah, yeah, I'll like with him, uh, and I know I know. Look, I know that there's always like these panhandlers, that they just tend to, they just tend to try to hustle you. I've seen it before. When my mom was alive, maybe she got arrested or so now. I was like 15, and my first job was working at the Grand movie theaters here in Dallas when it was still open. And I remember it was like my first check, and I told my mom, it was like 3 in the morning when I got out of work, and I told my mom, I was like, hey, I'm hungry, let's get some of these burgers from Jack in the Box. I bought her some, I bought me some, and I always remember seeing that one black dude over by the liquor store. He was always sitting there, and so I told my mom, I was like, get him some too. So we bought him something, and then he just happened to be over by the light, and we went up to him, rolled down the window, and my mom told him, it's like, hey, my son bought this for you, so you can have something to eat. Yeah, but see, I'm not done. See, the thing is that when I bought him the food. My mom gave him the food and said, my son bought this for you. You know what the guy said? This is what he did. My mom handed him the food out of the car window. He slaps the food out of my mom's hand, And he says, "Bitch, I don't want your food. I want money." It's like, "Give me some money. I need money." And my mom was like super pissed, and and she was like, "You know what? Go to hell." And we drove off. Now I don't. Yeah, man. I mean, some people are just like that. Some people just want the money. I'm not. Uh, I mean, he could have been, man. I mean, like I said, even that old school dude that I give him those burgers, man, he could be a crackhead too. But you know what? He never slapped those burgers out of my hand. He takes them, and every single time I tell him, get these burgers in you, he says, "Oh, I'm gonna do that right now." And I see him eating them whenever I'm driving off. I see him in the rearview mirror. Some people are like that. Some people are not. There was this one dude over by my job, little little midget dude. Man, sometimes these panhandlers, man, like they I don't know, but one time Fox 4 News, yeah, yeah, different source with different folks. Well, this dude, man, he was being followed by Fox 4 News over here in Dallas, right? And people gave him money, gave him food and whatnot. And then, so what he did was, when they kept giving him money, they followed him all the way to this bank. And then inside the bank, they had this hidden camera, right? And then you just see this dude pulls out a wad, bro, like about this big. I don't know, ones, fives, whatever the hell he received, about this big. Deposits whatever money, and then they follow him all the way to Shreveport, follow him to the casinos, comes out with some cash, comes back to Dallas, follow him, and yeah, yeah, man, probably had probably $2 bills. I mean, I haven't seen one of those in years, and and that's why I don't give people money no more. Like Jessica said, if people ask for money, I never help them. I don't give people money no more. I give them food. They want to slap the food out of my hand, and you know what? Go ahead and starve. I can't do nothing for you about that. And so I mean, what can we really do? I mean, it's your self gratification is when you do the good deed, and then you don't want to do the good deed anymore because people tend to be ungrateful about it. But I digress. Uh, but yeah, originally the topic was ghosted, paranormal activities, and whatnot, and yeah. So, uh, Jessica, nobody's expecting anything good back. Nobody's. I don't expect anything in return. I just every single time I see the guy, I feed him, and that's all I do. Okay, fine. Anyway, uh, yes, I know you're just saying you like to say so many things too. How's that lettuce wrap you were eating earlier? Anyway, uh, so yeah, my grandpa, he's seen lechuzas. We've all seen shadow people. And I saw possession of a little kid too in Mexico. I've seen a lot of story. I've seen a lot of stuff in Mexico, man. It's insane. Alex became a fan, bro. I'm gonna look, man. I'm not like everybody else that's on here, and you're gonna be like, oh man, cool, awesome, and love you for it. And look, man, I'm just gonna, thanks for thanks for being a fan. This is my second video, and I'm doing the best I can. Misty figures next to the foot of your bed. Those are the shadow people. Those are the ones I'm talking about. Then what are they? Then those are souls. That's what I'm saying. Then there must be souls. You know what? Why don't you just join the video conversation? You want to do that? Join a video conversation, like right here. Maybe somebody else will join in. I just figured out how to add people on the two-way video chat. Who told you were ugly? You need to stop believing all these lies that people tell you. You think you're ugly. I mean, girl, look at me. I'm over here in a cut up Texas shirt and look at that. I don't care. You've known me to never even care about what people think. Anyway. So yeah. No, I'm a mess. Woke up a while ago. Psh. Nobody told you to sleep that late. Anyway, misty figures next to the foot of your bed. If they're not shadow people, then they're souls. Do they make any noises? Do they talk? And my sister's over here on YouTube. She said that she felt something grab her legs, and then she started talking about, wasn't this about ghosts? I think when we got off topic there for a while. She faded off. It's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see stuff like that too, but in sometimes I don't want to because sometimes you don't even know what you're really inviting to chat with you or to see you. See, like, man, like I wish. No, but you also have to remember too that even Lucifer started off as an angel too. Lucifer started off as an angel too, and he was said to be the most beautiful angel in heaven. Makeup and music lover is watching. Hello there, music lover. Thank you for joining the show. If you have any ghost stories, go ahead and join in. Or if you have any comments, yes. And he was also God's favorite. He was God's right hand man. He was God's right hand man, and he was also the creator of all music in heaven. So yeah, just because we see a spirit and we don't feel a negative energy off of it doesn't necessarily mean that that they're all good. Some of them have hidden intentions. Well, my this channel is like an over. It's like a lot of things. It's like a lot of things. Make up a music lover. See, this is my second video. Yesterday, I read the first chapter of my book that I'm writing just to see how it went. But it was kind of like a no thing there. So today I was thinking about talking about ghosts, and apparently nobody has a paranormal channel. So I guess I'm the first one. But yes, definitely this will be a channel about everything. I will talk about ghosts. I will talk about aliens. I will talk about spirits. I will talk about witchcraft. My great grandmother was a witch. Uh, she did a lot of things, and I witnessed a lot of things that she did too. Uh, Jessica, my friend Jessica, she's a Wiccan. And I used to be a minister, and I used to be a man of the cloth and whatnot, but I quit, and now I'm more of a man of not reality, more like realism. Because I think uh, reality is more in check uh, than anything else. I'm a realist, to be honest. Yes, I've tried the Ouija board before, uh, twice. Once in sixth grade here in Dallas at my old elementary school at ER Martinez, and me and my cousin Alonzo, we were playing the Ouija board, and we said, if you're here, if you're here, do something. And then it was funny because we saw back then there were no dry erase, boards. It was all chalkboards, and we saw the eraser just like go like fly off, and like it hit the window. And then the second time was who are we trying to talk to? I think it was my cousin's dead grandmother, and apparently his grandmother, my aunt, my great aunt, said that it said we should leave. I guess to mean like to stop talking on the Ouija board, and my cousin wanted to keep talking to her, and it just kept moving all crazy, and then we just let it go, and then we just saw the whatever, it would just move by itself, and then we grabbed it and we put it back in the box. And then my cousin said, man, like, no, I don't want this thing in my house anymore, I'm scared. So we burned it. Well, guess what? The very next day, that Ouija board happened to appear in my cousin's closet again. And the reason I say that is because I happened to spend the weekend at his house when that happened. And we buried it. And I kid you not, that very same night, that Ouija board was back again. But it was covered in dirt. So, yeah. Finally, we had asked one of our cousins, how do we get rid of a Ouija board? And our cousin said that the only way you can get rid of a Ouija board is if you pass it on to somebody. You can't just say, hey, here's a Ouija board. It's like, hey, here's a Ouija board, take it. And you can't force it on them. The person has to be willing to take the Ouija board from you. So, like, let's say if you don't want the Ouija board anymore, and I'm in the market to look for a Ouija board, you have to say like, "Hey, Lewis, uh, here's a Ouija board. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll take it." And that's how you get rid of a Ouija board. Uh, that's how you have to pass it on. Uh, did y'all cast y'all circle before release after thanking them? I don't know, Jessica. We were little. We were like 12 years old. We didn't know anything about Ouija boards. We thought it was just something to mess around with. Which reminds me, uh, like a month ago, uh, I was going to Tyler, Texas, and I saw this antique store over in Tyler. Tyler's like 2.5, 3 hours away from here. Um, and for some reason, like I felt like walking to this antique store, right? So I walk in, and like towards the back of the store, there was a Ouija board from like I think it was like 1956 or like it was from the 50s. It was old school. I mean, I think it was probably one of the originals that like Milton and Bradley had made, and like I wanted to buy it, and I think the price was like 70 something dollars. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not getting this. I'm not buying no Ouija board at that price. But yeah, it was a pretty tripped out thing. Uh, I had never seen a Ouija board that old before. Uh, no, Makeover Music Lover. No, we didn't say goodbye because, like I told Jessica, we're 12-year-old kids. Uh, we didn't know any better. Yeah, there's a lot of antique stuff can be haunted. There's a show that shows that antique stuff can be haunted, but not just antique stuff. Sometimes like stuff from now can be haunted. Uh, 1193 Anonymous is watching. Hey, welcome to the show, bro. We're over here talking about paranormal stuff. You got any stories? Join in. Uh, you guys ever watched a show called Warehouse 13? Watch that show. There is some crazy stuff in there because half of the stuff that happened in that show, I practically already knew, which is kind of crazy because they tell you about some stuff that are antiques that they have powers. They tend to have powers, or they tend to give off negative vibes, or they can make you invisible, invincible, make you fly and whatnot. But the show's pretty tripped out. Warehouse 13. You guys watch that. Uh, you will definitely get hooked because there's a lot of stuff that is in there that should be out right now, but obviously we don't have that technology because it's not profitable, to the corporations. Hence, like in with when Nikola Tesla was talking about uh, when Nikola Tesla was talking about that he wanted uh, energy to be free for everybody. Well, you know, Edison was doing everything he could to discredit him. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Trust me, you will like that show. I mean, if you like paranormal stuff, Warehouse 13 is for you. And I just happened to stumble upon it by accident. It's something you will definitely like. Uh, been to any haunted places? I've been to a couple, and some that I did not even know were haunted. Yeah. Uh, but YouTube definitely look for it. You will like it. Trust me, you'll like it. Uh, haunted places. I've been to the railroad tracks over in San Antonio, where if you park your car in the middle of the railroad tracks and you put baby powder on the trunk, um, story goes that there was a school bus of kids the bus happened to stop right in the middle of the tracks, and a train just like ran into it and killed all those kids. Well, now the souls and the spirits of those kids actually happened to stay there in that railroad track. And when my mom was alive, God rest, uh, we did that one time, and we put baby powder on the back of the car, and then like uh, we were just pushing, we were pushing uh, the kids were pushing the car, and it was funny because I kept telling my mom, I said, "You have the car on drive. You're doing it. It's you. You're doing it." And she was like, "No." When we went to the back of the car, there were like all these small baby like handprints on the trunk of the car. There was like hundreds of them. It was to me it was touching. Yeah, well, that's in San Antonio. Uh, Another one is uh, there's a cemetery here over here in Dallas, Texas. Not per se here, but over by Waxahachie. It's like 30 minutes south of Dallas. The tripped out about this cemetery is that if you park your car, like let's say 10 feet away from the gate, and what's funny is that the gate is here, right? The gate is here. Your car is over here. Well, yes, it's an uphill road to the gate, to the cemetery. If you park your car 10 feet away from that gate, me and my friend Andy have done this before. Uh, you put the emergency brake on, you put it on park, you turn it off. Something or someone, or I don't know what force is, but it pulls the car literally all the way up to the gates. I mean, we did that, and I saw him put the emergency brakes. I saw him turn off the car, put it on park, and like we saw the car like drag right up to. It was trippy. Um, where else? In Mexico, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Mexico. There's a lot of places that are haunted in Mexico. Um, put that little girl. There's a lot of dolls. Let's say the guy was looking over the land. Let's see. I think it's the island, La Isla de las Muñecas. I think that's what it's called. Uh, I think that's what it's called, La Isla de las Muñecas. I'm not too familiar with that story, but I have heard of an island with dolls on the island, uh, but they don't have heads. All the heads are missing. But it's called La Isla de las Muñecas, the island of the dolls. No, I've never been dragged. Uh, I was possessed one time, and I don't remember anything. But the ministers told me that that was, and this was back then when I was a minister. So uh, there's not much to tell about that. It was a boy that was possessed, and we were trying to exorcise him. And when you try to exorcise somebody, you're not supposed to have uh, hate or evil in your heart. Uh, so basically, what ends up happening is that if you do happen to have hate or evil in your heart, where you're trying to exorcise somebody, uh, the demon will leave said person being exorcised, and it will go inside you. Uh, why would you think that you're possessed? makeup and music lover. Believe in paranormal stuff and nothing happens to me. That's probably because you look for it. It's best to not look for it, and that's when it usually happens. Uh, at your purest. What do you mean at your purest, Jessica? Like what? You're supposed to be at your best and good when you exercise somebody, or uh, but in Mexico also, uh, there's witches, there's lechuzas, there's ghosts, there's exorcists, there's a lot of paranormal stuff, and there's also gnomes, like the gnomes that you see in the lawn gardens. Yes, gnomes. There's even gnome there. Uh, if you look for videos on gnomes in Mexico, uh, they look like this. Uh, La Llorona, the the lady that killed her kids. It's La Llorona, the lady in the white dress. I think it's what they call it over here. Um, she didn't. She did kill her kids, but she actually drowned them. Story goes the way I remember. Uh, yeah, that's why I said that you're not supposed to have any uh, hate in your heart when you exercise a person. But apparently, I had hate in my heart. That's why it took me over. But back to the story of La Llorona. The story goes that lady was there was this girl. She was the most beautiful girl in town, and what happened was every single guy was after her. They all wanted to marry her. They all wanted to be with her, because obviously she's the most beautiful one. Even like times now, they haven't changed from back then. The guy is always looking for the most gorgeous, precious one because they want the trophy wife. Well, anyway, she declined every single one of them, and then one day a stranger came and he saw her. He fell in love with her, and she fell in love with him. And he wooed her. He married her. They ended up having like 3 kids. And then one day he said he had to because he had to go. He had business else, and he left and come back until like I think it was like 10, 12 years later. And the kids were all grown up, and the beauty faded away from the girl. And then when he came back into town, he was just passing by. When he happened to show up, he didn't recognize his old wife. She recognized her husband. He didn't recognize his wife. Well, apparently he had a new trophy wife, a younger, more beautiful woman with kids. And she told him, you left me. We're still here. I can't believe you left me, for her. And he told her it's because you were getting old, and you were losing your looks. That's why I left. That's why I married her, because, she is beautiful and you're not. So she went insane. She went down to the river and, she drowned her 3 kids. And then she regretted it. She regretted the fact that she, drowned her 3 kids, and so she cried for her kids, and in Mexico it's ay mis hijos, if you hear that, ay mis hijos, yeah, it's time to start running. But that's the cry that she did when she regretted drowning her kids, and then she went after her kids in the river, and then she just happened to drown herself. and then they found her uh, like 2 days later uh, on the riverside, and then they ended up burying her and her kids, and they buried her in a white dress, and and then like a few days after that, uh, there was a guy that was fishing in a river, and he just happened to see a woman in a white dress, and she was crying because she was crying for her kids. She was, saying, "Ay, mijos," and that just happened to be La Llorona. That's why they call her La Llorona. The weeping woman. Well, there's different versions, but the version that I know, according to my great grandfather, was the version that I just told you. So I mean, there could be different versions, but I mean, like I said, my great grandpa told me this version, and that's the one I'm gonna stick to. Uh, yeah, but see, that's the only catch with your version, Makeup and Music Lover. If she came down from heaven to find her kids and looking for her children's spirits, then uh, that would mean that she would find the spirit of her kids and then bring them back, or else it would be punishment, not from heaven but from hell. Um, I've heard that version too, Jessica. The one about she was abused and she drowned herself and the kids. Um, I've heard that one, but like I said, my great grandpa Pedro, he told me that version that I just told you guys, and it's the only version I know. Uh, Complete story from beginning to end. It's the only version that I really know. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick to that one because apparently that story's been told to me by a couple of other people in the exact same way that I was, explaining it. Anything else, ladies? Anybody got any other topics? Seen demons? Ghost story? All right, we'll make up a music lover. Let's hear it. You want to type it up, or do you want to say it on here? And no, Jessica, I've never dreamed of her. I've seen her twice, but I've never dreamed of her. Oh, okay. Well, go ahead, type away. And yes, when you know the stories, yes, it's scary as hell. Me and my cousin, we were in Mexico, and my grandma, when she was still alive, God rest her soul, told me and my cousin to go to El Deposito in the corner, which is like the corner store, to go get a Coke. Obviously, in Mexico, uh, it's not like here in the States where you have like 2 liter bottles. In Mexico, it's always that 1 liter bottle out of glass that was like this big and thick, and it was heavy as hell. Um, so me and my cousin Kikin, we go to the deposito to go get the Coke, and then we start walking back. Like, I kid you not, we left the corner store. We took 20 steps, and I still remember it to this day. We took 20 steps, and then we start hearing, "Ay, mis hijos," and we start looking around. We're like, "There's no river around here. There's no lake. Like, what the hell?" And then my cousin's like, "Oh, it's probably the neighbor's kid trying to scare us." And I'm like, "Man, I hope you're right because I don't want to see the Llorona right now." And I was like 9, 10 years old. And so we start walking, and then when you walk towards my grandma's house, there's like this tree that kind of tends to hang over the street. And it was funny as hell because we see the tree start moving up and down, but there was no wind. So we just happened to look up, and there's this lady in a white dress, and she's like crouching, like ready to pounce like a tiger. And then we just hear her say, "Mis hijos," and she reaches out with her hands like this. Man, me and my cousin, bam, like Speedy Gonzalez, we were gone. Man, we would never, ever, ever want to get out in the middle of the night ever again. Because we went to visit family, so there's so much. You know what's funny? My friend Robert has told me almost the exact same thing that you're telling me now, makeup and music lover. Uh, except for it wasn't a little girl. Um, with him, it doesn't happen in every room. It only happens in one specific room. Does it happen in one specific room, or does it happen in any bedroom? Because with him, it was one specific room, and it was always the room that was facing the street, that was facing the street, and the tree that was literally right in front of that window. Any room. Okay, with him, it was that one specific room, and he says that back then, when he was young, when he used to sleep in that room, he used to wake up, and there was always somebody tapping on that window, and there was always a guy with a trench coat, with an old cowboy hat, like back in the Wild West, and he had a black crow on him. And he said that he told his mom. His mom didn't believe him. When he got married and moved out, he said that his mom went to sleep in that room uh, because apparently she got into a fight with like her husband. So she went to sleep in that room, and she said that she told my friend Robert that she saw this guy in a cowboy outfit, in a hat, and a crow out in that window. And my homeboy Robert said, "Now do you believe me? Because I kept telling you that." He's like, "I thought you were just playing games." He was like, "No, I was being serious." So now nobody sleeps in that room. But with you, no, the area wasn't that old. What Dallas is from the 20s. But I don't think, that neighborhood wasn't that old. It's already been built up since the 60s. Uh, uh, Jessica says that the image of the Llorona doesn't bother her, but the screams do. Okay, so the screams bother you, but not the image of her. See, that's where it's different for me. I see her, I run like hell. I hear her, I still run like hell. Uh, no, I I won't even stand by just to see if she's around. Like I'll be gone for real. Um, you also said that a lot of people talk about a figure like that. Yeah. Yes, yes, music, makeup and music lover. Yes, I do believe in Wendigos. Um, I see dirty things. Usually I freeze because I get a little scared, but I'll question it. No, uh, I'll question it once I'm out of and in a safe place. That's me. But makeup and music lover, yes, do believe in the Wendigo. I think the Wendigo, and they mostly live in the forest. Uh, if I remember correctly, they were the protectors of the Native Americans. It was I think it was a cannibal monster. But yeah, I do remember. I do believe in that because if I don't believe in witches, and if I can't believe in demons and spirits and all that, then I can't believe in the windows. But yes, if I believe in all that, I will believe in them too. Um the what? Indigenous people? Which one? Because it was. I remember the folklore. It was a cannibal monster. It was an evil spirit, or was it a protector? Uh, but it was up in the north forest. Uh, maybe like somewhere around Montana, like up there in the north. Uh, but yeah, that's what I remember. They tend to stay up in the north in the woods. They tend to uh, they tend to eat people, just to stay alive. Let me close out my Facebook. But yeah, they tend to eat people just to stay alive and keep living. How sometimes hikers tend to go into the woods and they try to uh, uh, they try to explore and whatnot, and then they end up missing. Personally, I think that's the Wendigo right there because they make these holes on the ground big enough for people to slip through. They get stuck. They end up getting taken. Uh, I mean, I don't think I really don't think that there's enough resources and manpower to find these people out there. That's why most of the time you'll find them either by legs or an arm or already eaten bodies, half the body ate up. Sometimes it will just be bones. Um, and I think also um, I think they also build tunnels underground too. So sometimes you gotta watch out. I mean, personally, I wouldn't go hiking unless I'm gonna take a gun myself. Uh huh. What about the forest? All right. So far, I'm up to an hour and 54 minutes. My girls should be almost done with the concert. So I'll give this another 5 6 minutes, and then I have to leave to go get them. You find it weird that people are always missing in national forests? Yes, yes. I always tend to find it weird about that because, like I said, I think it's the Wendigos doing it. Like I said, they tend to disappear without a trace. Uh, Sometimes they'll just find a leg, an arm, uh, half a torso, bones, uh, their backpacks, their belongings, no body. Because these Wendigos, what they like I said, these Wendigos, they make holes. They make like these small holes big enough to have a person fall in there and get stuck. And they don't do it during the day. They'll do it during the night when you're least expecting it. They'll try to attack you at night, and they'll make you run in panic where you have no idea where to go, and that's it for you. Yeah, yeah, I believe that. Somehow the weather does change and the traces are gone. Yeah, it's they control. I mean, these Wendigos are they're evil spirits, and they control a lot of things. There's still a lot of things that are out there that we don't know. I mean, when when the Europeans came over here, and they started taking over the land and killing all these Native Americans and all these indigenous tribes, they don't you don't know what these people released, on the Europeans, and all these Americans who were born over here, the colonists, you know, that's probably why a lot of people disappear in the woods now. That's why a lot of the woods are still, remain untouched now, because they don't they don't know what's out there. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say, it's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. I respect that. You don't want to celebrate Thanksgiving. That's good. Me personally, I have a daughter in college. It's her third year, and I'll celebrate as many holidays as I can because I like having my daughter at home. My younger one, the one that's going to high school right now, it's her senior year, and uh, she's jealous as hell right now because I'm doing this, and she says that this is a this is a teenage thing. This is a millennial thing or whatever they want to call it. This is a YouTuber thing. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just wanted to read my book. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted every week I was going to read one chapter of a book and get some insight on my book, and maybe somebody can give me some ideas. That's all I wanted. But uh, my older one said, "Dad, you should do a channel about YouTube channel about ghosts and like supernatural stuff and paranormal stuff. I'll bet you anything you get a lot of people." And I was like, "Well, we'll see." And I'm going on almost 2 hours right now. And what's funny is that the first hour, I had nobody on here. I was speaking to myself. Uh, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm speaking to myself. Maybe I just need to advertise a little more. But you know, I invited Jessica on here. And at least I'm not so lonely now. And then uh, and then you came on here, Makeup and Music Lover. Finally, you said this finally a paranormal channel. There you go. Uh, uh, so I'm gonna start doing this now on a regular basis. I'll do this. I'll start doing this thing from 7 to 10. I'll do 3 hours. I mean, I don't really think I need 3 hours on here, but that's fine. Uh, Really 44? No, I've never heard of her. This is my second video. This is my second time being on here, so I don't know anybody here. Uh, oh, you became a fan. Thank you. Uh, oh, Jessica, knowing Jessica, probably right now she's probably over there playing with her dogs and looking at her amazing crystals. She's a YouTuber. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at some of her stuff and maybe I can get some ideas off of that. But yeah, I have an extensive knowledge of a lot of things. My battery is gonna die. So look, it was nice, fun chatting with you. Please spread the message. Let people know that finally there is a paranormal channel on here. I better go get my girls from that concert before they kill me and say they've been winning out there forever. So have fun, you guys. Thanks for becoming fans. Uh, Tell everybody what's going on, and I will be here tomorrow again at 7 o'clock, and we'll go ahead and do another one, and we'll do some more videos, and you give me topics, and we will discuss them. All right, bye, Jessica. Bye, Makeup and Music Lover. You guys be careful out there. Bye.